spreading hate. Lips BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battle.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
There's warriors, say the flame to shout. Make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise. Fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Lips BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night.
Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
We got it.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Leo from To The Point Podcast with Mike, Leo, and Vince. This is episode 167, and it is Wednesday.
I can hear myself.
6/7.
Oh my God!
It is Wednesday, August 19th, 2026, and don't forget we are live straight from Indian River County, from the Sunshine State on the East Coast of Florida.
Are we
I hear
though?
myself. I think I hear myself like very low.
You hear yourself or you don't hear
I
yourself?
don't hear myself. There we go.
How
Hey,
about
what's
that?
up, guys? There we go. Yeah, there we go.
It's been a contentious week here in Florida politics and local elections and stuff like that, and announcements left and right. So
Sure.
glad that's over with for now. On to November, and it probably will just get worse and nastier, and it's just sick.
You think so?
Probably.
Hmm.
I hate local politics
Why?
because it gets so dirty, man. It's nasty, and people run for the wrong reason. They might have the right intentions,
Right.
but somebody gave them the wrong reasons to run. You know, I just don't like it.
It's crazy. It wasn't until maybe just the last few years that I realized just how dirty our local politics
Yeah.
are. It's really it's kind of sickening
And it
because
shouldn't be like that.
here we are. We live in a what's pretty well considered a small but well off area for the most part, like Treasure Coast, and it's not an area where you would think it's not like Miami where you expect things to be cutthroat quite as much. But boy, is the fucking politics cutthroat.
You're right, Vince. It's just, and they're all adults.
But part of the reason is there's money here. Where there's money, that's where they want to do the most cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not accusing anybody
Money
of doing
talk.
anything, but
Money
it's just
talks.
the
I'm just saying.
mudslinging and the lying. It's just
Money talks. If you got the money to back it up, you got it.
Yeah.
That's Indian River County. That's where we're at. That's where we're live, straight from
Yes,
Indian River
especially
County,
here.
Florida, from the Sunshine State, from the 772. We got a lot of people from out of here, man. A lot of people coming from here.
yeah. Well, it's a
listen.
major crossroads.
We're not known just for we're Indian River County. We're also known for the Treasure Coast. A lot of people come here because we had a lot of treasure here on the East Coast from back and then, all the ships and stuff like that. But not just that, but people also come here because it's the Treasure Coast. They come and hide all their treasures, all their money here in the Treasure Coast.
Yeah, maybe.
We're not far
And
from
some of these
Orlando
people,
and
some of these
Disney.
people, Vince,
We actually have a Disney resort right here in town.
yes, we do. Vince, and you're right. Some of these people don't know what to do with their money, so they use it nasty. They use it nasty, like in the nastiest ways. For what? They have nothing to lose. They like to go in there and just stir stuff up. But anyways, the results are out. It is what it is.
Yeah, like so for Florida,
If you like it or don't like it,
yeah,
this is
big
what we got.
elections. There were big elections all across the state of Florida. I don't know if other states had them or not, but because this one was consuming enough. But for governor, obviously, if you didn't hear now, you're really late to the party. But Byron Donalds is a nominee. We've talked about Byron a lot. We've got some clips from his speech tonight, but not my pick. But um,
Not mine either.
I still support him as long as he holds true to what he says.
Why isn't it your pick, Vince?
There's something about him I don't like. He just seems like a typical politician to me. I don't
So you typically vote for the outsider that makes sense.
more definitely in the last several years, absolutely.
Not saying that the insider doesn't make sense, but
Now
if you had an insider and outsider and they both kind of had the same message, are you more of a I don't want a career politician
yes,
to sit?
because career politicians for the most part, I'm not saying all of them, but
He could be your
it
president down the
yeah,
road.
well, absolutely. I mean, and look at DeSantis. DeSantis is he's a career politician, and he's been a great governor for us.
Yeah.
But there's a when I think of a typical politician, it's like it's kind of like I get the same feeling I do about a lawyer.
Yeah.
They're a lot of them are very slimy, skis
Yeah.
ball. They're not to be trusted, and I just get the same feeling about him that I don't think he's going to be a bad candidate. I think he's going to do just fine of a job. I don't think he's going to be as good as DeSantis, but those are some rather large shoes to fill. Um, but I mean, I've
But
said it on here
DeSantis
before.
had
Bobby Williams was my vote. And
I voted for him too.
no, and I voted for him knowing that there was really no chance. But the funny thing is me and you both noticed this, Mike. Almost everybody in our circle that we spoke to, when we would go do the conspiracy club at Filthy's, everybody there is saying the same thing. They're all voting for Bobby Williams. But I think he ended up with what, 4% of the votes or something like that.
Let me look real quick because in this model with hold on
I liked Bobby Williams.
statewide with not this isn't all the counties on this model I'm looking at, but Byron Donalds had over 528,000 votes. This is 49 out of 67 counties. Bobby Williams was down there around 42,000. This isn't updated, so that's hard to go by. I don't know, but yeah, he was down there last place. Well, there was Donalds, there was Jay Collins,
Fishback.
Fishback, Paul Renier, then Bobby Williams. There was a lot of others running, but Bobby Williams was the last one on my ballot. And and there was a long list of people running for governor on the Republican side. So, you know, I get it. He was an outsider and I thought it was a kind of a wild vote for a guy who's got no executive experience in government, which again, like do you want a career politician? Um I don't know. I want somebody to hold true to what we've had in Florida.
I don't think there's any doubt he would have had the best interest of the people living here in Florida.
Yeah, but
That
that hold on though. And I voted for him, but I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. He's good old Florida boy.
right,
So which people is he taking care of? Like
right.
the fifth generation? Is that going to hurt our economy? Even though we don't want to blow it up, we depend on tourism. We depend on a lot of stuff. So you come in here with the chainsaw like the guy in Argentina, and there's a lot
Yeah,
at
I
stake
mean,
here in Florida.
yeah, I don't think he would have been trying to chop off tourism at the knees or anything like that.
No, but policy could. And I'm not saying he couldn't manage it. I'm just saying a lot, and same with Fishback. A lot of what Fishback said resonated with people, but really you can't really initiate a lot of that radical stuff. And some of what he said was not Williams, but Fishback was a little radical. Like he talked to the you and me in the way we would talk to each other, but it would be considered radical probably on a political stage. But it's just that could hurt a lot. That's at stake at Florida, so it's kind of like a finessing job. I'm not saying Donalds is the best one for it either, but he's got political aspirations, so this might be
Right.
his time to shine.
I'm trying to stay a
So,
little
and if he shines, we shine.
trying to stay a little positive on it. I saw somebody else did a post, and they said that they didn't vote for DeSantis the first time he ran back in, I think it was what, 18,
That
2018.
who?
DeSantis, when he first got elected. They said they didn't vote for DeSantis, they didn't vote for Donald, but DeSantis turned out to be one of the best governors the state have ever seen. So, hopefully Donald's will surprise us and continue doing running the state a lot like DeSantis has.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He's up against some jolly.
What do you think Donald's would have done during COVID? Do you think he would have uh, been a lot more shut everything down and a lot more mask up than?
I'm
Yes.
afraid so.
So that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about. Now,
Yeah.
hopefully, we're not going to see that again anytime soon. But this,
The next time they're going to use the flock cameras to track you.
you're right.
That's
The
what they're
flock
saying
camera-
online. That's what they're saying
The
on.
flock camera give you a ticket for not wearing a mask while you're driving down the road.
Anyways, let's get to some of Donald's shirt. But beforehand, look at our shirt. This is the Conspiracy Club shirt, also available in black. If you go onto our website and place an order, or you get a hold of one of us while we're at the Conspiracy Club on the second Thursday of every month down at Filthy's in Vero Beach. And sooner or later we'll get another shirt out there. But we also have the America 250 commemorative. I don't have that one loaded, but yeah. So, all right. So you heard me mention Jolly. That's going to be the Democrat. I guess he's the nominee. He ran last night too in the Democratic primary and won, I believe so. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that
I
stuff.
haven't been paying attention. I've been
Right.
paying attention to the Republican primary so much. I don't even know who was in the Democratic one.
I don't know. I'm finding out a lot of the local liberals blocked me though. So that's I wish I'd have gotten a notification so I could have celebrated it. But here is Byron's a clip from Byron's speech last night.
Very clear to David Jolly. We are not going to apologize for Florida. We will not apologize for keeping our state open. We will not apologize for keeping our taxes low. We will not apologize for backing our police. And we will not apologize for protecting girls' sports. And we will never apologize for protecting parental rights. Well, let's make something very clear to David Jolly. We are not going to apologize for Florida.
So that was one clip, one warning to David Jolly. Obviously, David Jolly's been on the record talking about being relaxed when it comes to the different genders, whatever the identifying genders in girls' locker rooms and all that tampon Tim type stuff that we saw from Tim Waltz in Minnesota that we've talked enough about him. But that's our version is David Jolly. So I mean we got lucky 8 years ago, right? With DeSantis.
Right.
And we almost had that David Gillum, who was a gay stripper or something, almost won within like 100,000 votes or less. And he was just recently arrested again in Alabama. But is that what I mean? I'm not saying David Jolly is that kind of deviant, but we're going to have somebody that's really soft on crime and doesn't protect our daughters when it comes to sports. Are they going to be competing against men?
Right.
So what's going to happen to Florida if Donalds doesn't get the support of all of the right all of the conservatives in Florida, despite who they would have liked.
Right.
They're going to
Well,
have to rally behind Donalds.
yeah, and there's no doubt I'll take Donalds over anything the left's got to offer right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, when he talks like this,
Affordable Florida starts with a limited government that respects hardworking taxpayers who fund it. Under my watch, every contract, every budget, and every fee this state spends will be posted online, out in the open, where you can see it. We are going to continue the Department of Government Efficiency that was started here in Florida under Governor DeSantis. As your governor, we are going to doge all local governments and all state agencies. There will be no sacred cows.
we do have the sunshine.
To taxpayers deserve to know that their hard-earned dollars are being spent efficiently, transparently, and with total integrity. Affordable Florida starts with a limited government that respects hardworking taxpayers who fund it. Under my watch,
There's the sunshine law where anything government related has to be public information, has to be available to the public. Like two members of the same committee or council can't collaborate off the record. It's very strict, but it's got to be very transparent. So hearing him say that, okay, it sounds great. As long as he sticks to the law now, that's what's already in place.
Right.
If I'm wrong, you know better out there, correct me, but that's my take on Florida Sunshine Law. And so I think that would be more beneficial. I think there should be a standard as to how that stuff is available. I don't think you should have to do.
You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to get it.
Right.
No, I
You
agree.
you should just be able to go to a web page and just kind of like poke through what they're doing with your money, because it is your money.
Well, you're supposed to be able to, but once you get to, they bury it in some legalese type mumbo jumbo, and you need AI to get to it, and they put it behind database layers, so AI can't get to it.
And you notice
gotta actually do your
they like to use let's just say they like to use uncommon words too when describing, like when you read what they're doing with your money, like sometimes you're like, what does that even mean? Because they hide, they're hiding it behind verbiage that they know a lot of people aren't
millage.
going to
Yeah, like people don't know what millage means.
Yeah.
That's your money. Millage is your tax dollar.
Right. So it's like, if
Millage
you
goes up,
really
you pay
want to
more
read
tax.
through it and understand it, you're going to have to sit there with Google right next to you. And what's this word mean? Because they're not using the typical words that you would expect them to use. And they're doing that on purpose to make it harder for people to do their own research.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the right one.
Man, I was gonna say something and it left.
It left you.
They gone?
Well, here's another Byron video.
Well, maybe it'll come back after this.
we are going to continue
Is
the
this what we
Department
already
of
played?
Government Efficiency that was started here in
Yes.
Florida under Governor DeSantis. As your governor, we are going to doge all local governments and all state agencies. Government efficiency that was started here in Florida under Governor DeSantis. As your governor, we are going to doge all local governments and all state agencies. There will be no sacred cows. To taxpayers deserve to know that their hard-earned dollars are being spent efficiently, transparently, and with total integrity.
Well, now you can.
An achievable Florida means every Florida child gets a real shot at the Florida dream, no matter where they start. We are going to make sure our kids master math, reading, and writing, not just to have the best K-12 system in America, but to have the best K-12 system. We are going to continue the Department of Government Efficiency that was started here in Florida under Governor DeSantis. As your governor,
our
we are
local superintendent's retiring after a few years, which was a shocker because the guy makes pretty good money, but maybe that's why he's retiring. District's been doing really good.
Have they though?
Well, based on the numbers, Based on the numbers, all the districts in Florida have been doing
Numbers.
pretty good.
Numbers.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
everything always is
well,
is
it
based
boils
on the
down
numbers, like
on
the
testing.
numbers, like
It's all testing numbers. And that's the problem, if you ask me. It's all the testing. Testing. These
yeah, like
kids are
right now.
still learning how to take tests.
So Mike, like right now, right?
They should be learn education, not
Right.
how to pass the test on.
So right now, right? They're taking this fast test, right? Right?
I guess. Yes.
They take it 3 times in one school year, right? And in the 3rd grade, they take it, right? And so Vince, listen to this, right? So they take it 3 times, right? And if you score this, I'm just going to use an
They're
example.
different
Vince.
sections, correct? Like different.
Yes.
It's a different test.
Right. Right. So you're taking it 3 times. And this is just an example. If you score a 150 the first time that the child took it, good. If the child scored a 200 that they took it, good. But if the child scored a 100 at the 3rd one,
Bad.
bad.
It's a beginning, middle, and end type of thing to see where the kid is at.
Right.
So that they want to see improvement. Like there's a goal.
Right.
Maybe not 50 points, but there's like a goal, right?
Right.
And,
Yes, there's a goal.
yeah.
Events, okay. Say for whatever reason, on one of those test days, I'm just saying, because it happens to every kid.
You have a bad day where you're
You
not
have a
paying
bad
attention.
day.
You're just
You wake up, you're having a
distracted.
bad day.
Yeah.
Your parents already yell at you, or you yelled at this. You didn't have a good breakfast. Whatever it is, that day just screwed you up the whole day.
Yeah.
Now you didn't pass, but the other 2 that you took that you had grade on them don't count.
Well, I mean, they should have some way that if like you did better the first 2 times and the 3rd time you did bad, there should be a retake option.
No,
I know,
sorry.
but I mean, there should be.
Nope.
Because it shows that, hey, they're definitely capable of doing better. And maybe they had an issue on that 3rd one.
Sorry. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, man. Like, you shouldn't be able to be testing the kid. Just teach the kid. Just teach him the stuff. Teach him the product.
Well, I
teach him-
mean, I mean, I
me,
understand.
because
I
this is-
understand doing the test because you want to see where the kid's at.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the kid getting a bad test grade shouldn't ruin their life. That's for
So
darn
I'll tell
sure.
you what. My entire life have always been a bad test taker.
Me too.
Like
It's in the
bad,
blood.
like bad to the point that if the 3 of us right now would be taking the test, and if I see one of you guys stand up,
The
I'm done.
anxiety. The anxiety.
I'm done. My anxiety's to the fucking roof.
Slide on the pencil down.
I'm
You know,
done.
I don't think I ever studied for a test in my life.
I'm not 12 anymore.
I always passed.
Especially if,
I was never
especially,
though.
especially if you put a timer on me and say, "Oh, you got 25 minutes." It's
Leo,
gonna take me.
I can see Leo just stand up and walk away, like just leave.
It's gonna take me 25 minutes to read the first sentence.
I'm not laughing at you, but I'm relating with you. It's like,
You know, it's just my anxiety of just walking into an environment knowing that I have to take a test. And then all of a sudden, the smart kid over there in the front stands up after 5 minutes, and there's still 35 more minutes to go, and he's already done. And I'm only on the 5th one.
yeah, I mean,
You can't put that. If I feel this way as an adult, you're putting this pressure on these kids like this, it's crazy. To me, it's crazy. It's just, here we go again. The numbers, you know, what's your number? What's your number? What's your IQ? Ooh, how cool are you? How much money do you have? You know, like it's just the society that we live nowadays. Back then, we didn't give a shit what you had. Oh, you got a bike and it's got pegs? Fuck yeah, we're riding. You know?
yeah, I grew up in Barefoot Bay, and that's how you got around.
I don't care.
Bicycle or the handlebars. Of
I
the
don't
bicycle.
care how well you did on a test. Hey, you remember that teacher? We were throwing things up in the ceilings and she didn't say anything. She was cool about it.
Oh, I've got many stories we
You
can't
know,
talk about here.
nowadays, if you would do that, forget about it. Like it's just like
Too many stories for social media these days. Thank God.
they didn't
We
have
didn't
any
have camera
cameras or
phones or
flock
nothing like
cameras.
that. No Arlos, no rings.
Man, I remember
None of
one
that.
time going out with my cousins out to Felsberg. They had one of my cousins had like a little small car. Like I don't know what kind of car it was. It was just a smaller car, and everybody packed into it.
A Toyota Corolla?
I don't know. Everybody, we all packed into that bitch, and
Yellow.
we were out there somewhere out in the streets out in Felsberg. I mean, we were hitting that e-brake left and right, and it was so packed that the whole car just slid left and right. It was so much fun.
I tell you something funny though. Speaking of that, my father bought a Toyota Corolla in Ellesmere in like 1993,
Crazy.
just before we had some bad storms here, and you can go through all 5 gears without hitting the clutch. And this thing, I don't even know how this thing fucking ran, but it would go through 4 feet of water, because we got hit with some tornadoes in 94 in Barefoot Bay, and that thing,
that's what I was gonna
water would rush right over the door of that thing, and it would motor on.
Yeah.
And it was bought. Well, I can tell you why it was bought. I mean, how I know it was bought out of Felsmere. It was yellow, but it was painted with a roller white, and on the inside it had the
dingleberries,
the doilies, or I never called them dingleberries. That's you. You're calling them dingleberries. But it was definitely bought out of Felsmere.
You know what that reminded me of though, Mike? You know, when you were saying we're gonna be able to see what our tax dollars go to and stuff like that. You know what we haven't seen, or I haven't seen, I have not seen now one vehicle out here trimming through the telephone lines or power lines or the city cleaning out the ditches.
No, they haven't done the ditches,
for-
but they stay out this way.
for the hurricanes and stuff like that. Like once we get a hurricane and this place starts flooding, we're not gonna be worried about no flock cameras and how much people got in the budgets
Yeah.
of this and the budget.
I haven't
for that.
seen much of that
We're
going
gonna
on
be
this
start
year.
worrying about where's this water going to, because it's not moving.
Yeah, a few years ago they came out here and trimmed all the trees quite thoroughly, and
But I haven't seen
but I haven't seen much of that the last couple of years.
not one.
They do randomly out here unless there's an issue. I'll tell you what they did do out my way. Very rural, and sometimes the road isn't the road. It's
Right.
all on private land on one side of the ditch, and the other side of the ditch is actually the road. Well, Comcast finally decided they're going to offer fiber to all the people out here. And instead of running it pole to pole with the electricity, they buried it down all these roads. Well, that was a problem for some people because there's no easement. That's their property. Like you just dug a hole, put a box, and ran. Like there's no utilities easement there or nothing. Nothing
Right.
says that they can do that. So some of them have to come out there and move them now, and it's going to be a whole
Really?
debacle. And they should have just stuck to the pole, unless they're burying all the lines. But that's a whole nother story.
So they
I
buried
think
the-
fiber optic is all underground. I don't believe any of that's on the telephone poles. I could be wrong.
Well, a lot of people out here don't want it. I don't want it. I prefer Starlink. It's affordable now
Right.
and unlimited. So
We had fiber optic there for a little while, and quite frankly, I wasn't impressed with it.
yeah. So if you're watching at home, make sure you hit the like button, comment. I don't even, you can be our #1 fan too, and whatnot. I've got here. Remember we talked about the Eric Swalwell?
Yeah.
How well he was running for governor?
Yeah.
California, Chinese spy
I remember.
girlfriend. Bang Chang Bang or whatever her name was. Well, here's another one. But look, this is how and this goes back to all right. We're Florida, right? We
Yes.
do a lot to protect our freedoms here in Florida.
Yes.
And those freedoms are God-given, but they're secured by the United States federal government.
Yes.
States do that. States enforce that down the line. So Florida does a great job, but the problem is another state can be a total bad apple and the infection that festers there can go wherever they want. Can come into your state. They can go wherever.
Right.
And at this point, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. It could be COVID, could be anything, politics. But this is in California. Hold on.
Fox News alert: a California Democrat just admitted to being a Chinese spy. Christina Coleman has the latest. Christina.
Hi, Jesse. California Democrat Eileen Wang resigned as mayor of Arcadia as part of her plea deal. She's now charged with acting as an illegal agent of the People's Republic of China. Prosecutors say between 2020 and 2022, 4 years before she was sworn in as mayor, she worked at the direction and control of Chinese government officials.
They feel like that there is an open door invitation in these sanctuary cities. It's not just China. This is North Korea. This is Russia. This is our adversaries all over the place that's using the political theater that the Democrats have drawn as a point of weakness to be able to infiltrate our communities.
Federal authorities say Wang operated a phony website claiming it was a news source for the local Chinese American community. Instead, she's accused of using it to promote and push pro-Chinese content.
It's not a crime to just publish pro-Chinese pieces. What makes it a crime is that she was working at the direction of the PRC. So this wasn't her on her own writing these things. She was directed and instructed. She had a handler by the PRC that would tell her what to do.
That's the People's Republic of China. That's the
A local news
political
reporter
party.
caught up with this California Democrat to see if she had anything to say about secretly working with China's communist government, but she stayed silent.
Can we speak with you about these allegations?
That's a heavy door. Did you hear that? Oof.
Had that mic turned
Yep,
up.
had
They
nothing to
wanted
say
hear
there.
whatever.
Also, federal authorities say Wang's former fiance was her accomplice. He's currently serving a 4-year federal prison sentence after pleading guilty last October to acting as an illegal agent of a foreign government. So both of them in big trouble, Jesse.
Match made in heaven. Thank you, Christina.
That's like right here in the United States, man. And it's just now it becomes open. If we didn't have Trump administration with Kash Patel and the Attorney General and the FBI in the direction it's going, we would never know about half of this stuff. What do you think about China spying? And what do you think about, when do we say no more, California?
Right.
How do you fix that?
So as far as China spying, like that doesn't surprise me. Like that doesn't surprise me that China would do something like that because I believe that's what the entire Democratic Party has become is China pushing socialism into our country for the most part. I think they're behind a lot of what's going on that side of the politics. And I think some of that's just through money, through rich people, through people like your George Soros, through your people like Bill Gates, people that have the money, that have the connections here in our country.
Right.
They don't have enough money. I think China's buying those people. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure there's more than just her. As far as how do you stop it? I mean, I don't have the answer for that. That's got to be somebody with a whole lot more knowledge than me. But my question is, so was she born here or was she born in China?
I don't know, but either way.
Either way, it's crazy, but I don't think we should have politicians that are not native born.
Well, that's the problem.
Period.
Look at
Period.
Minnesota. There's some city councils that are all immigrants.
Yeah, I don't care.
Some of them are all Muslim.
I don't care if it's local government, just for city level, Indian River County or county level, whatever it is. I don't think you should be able to be foreign born and be in politics in our country. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, I think holding an office, you should be. Well, what's the limit?
Nothing.
Like
if
their kids, could their kids be?
If they were born here, because at some point, where do you cut it off? Yeah,
second generation, maybe third generation.
I don't know where you cut it off. If you were born here, then you should have every right that somebody else that was born here.
But
I don't know where you cut it off.
But then you're going to attract that
Yeah, I know.
Immigrant. Like right now,
They're going to come here just to have their babies.
They already do that for citizenship, but
and they're going to raise them to be like Obama, like
they already are.
Like how Obama was raised. Obama was raised to be the president of the United States from a young age.
And you know what? I saw a podcast between some historian and a pastor, and the pastor asked the historian, "Do you think Obama is a Muslim?" And he said, "Well, his father's a Muslim, right?" And the pastor was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, then he's a Muslim." Because that's how they think, and that's how they move forward. It doesn't matter if your father birthed you with a white Christian woman.
Right.
Your father's Muslim, you're Muslim, no matter what you do in their eyes. So that's why they take it so hard when somebody leaves.
Yeah, I don't know where you draw the line.
I don't know, man.
And how you draw that line.
Yeah,
But
what's fair and what is not fair.
But you can definitely say you got to be born here to.
Leo,
you could definitely draw that line, I feel like.
Leo, you are a firstborn generation here, right?
I'm a firstborn generation here, yes, sir.
So do you think
both of my parents are Mexicans?
So do you think you should be afforded the right to run for an office, any office? Because as it is right now, you can run for president.
So I'll tell you, as it is for now, I could run for president. Yes. Why? Because I was born here in the United States of America. I have my birth certificate says I'm an American citizen. You know, I was born.
You have all the same rights.
All the
that
same rights.
anybody does.
But you know, there would be people saying shit, saying, "Well, his parents," but my parents are not the ones that are running.
Yeah, but what would you say if that was like a Mandami in New York?
I would say I am.
I don't think he's even born here.
I would say I'm an American with Mexican.
So you're okay, first generation. You're born here. That's the way the law is. Keep it that way.
Keep it which way?
The way the law is right now. You're eligible first, as long as you're born here, first generation or not, you're eligible to run for president.
And that's the only thing that's off limits if you're not born here, pretty much. What else is?
I mean, I think so.
I think
because think about it, Mike. Okay, because I think we've had this conversation before. Because eventually, nobody will ever run because all the mixers of the mixing of this and the mixing of that. That eventually nobody's going to be an American.
But what if that's a problem? So right now in like Spain and all across the EU,
right,
they're seeing mass immigration, like, and it's literal. Like
Right.
they're not enforcing borders or anything. So you'll have a whole ethnic population change in a couple of weeks. And they were having babies there and this and that, or they become eligible to take part, just like in Michigan. The whole area is turning Muslim, and before you know it, there'll be there already are mosques everywhere. They're already praying in the streets every freaking 3 hours or something like that. So and it goes against everything that this nation was actually founded on.
I think you should have to be born
And I'm
here.
not saying they shouldn't be able to practice their religion.
You should have to
but-
be born here, and you should have to have spent the vast majority of your life here. So, like, if you were born here and then you moved back to Russia or wherever you came from and spent your whole life there, and then all of a sudden came back and decided you were going to run for office, I don't think that should be allowed either.
Well, I think that's like a Florida governor rule too. You've had to have lived in Florida
Right.
7 years, I think, or something like that.
And I think,
but not born here.
and I think, I think it should include being, well, not born in Florida, but you
Right,
should at least have to be a U.S. citizen. But I think that's an excellent law. I mean, what state shouldn't want that? Why would you not want your governor to be somebody that has lived in your state for at least a certain amount of time to, know how the people, how else are they going to know who they're representing?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you just
Scary
moved,
though.
if all of a sudden I just moved to Georgia and ran for governor,
It's
I mean, it
hard
shouldn't be
because you
allowed.
know what? Like I know
And I
a
love
lot of
Georgia. I
first-
vacation in Georgia every year, but
I know a lot of first generation people here in Florida, and or not even a lot of people who have children who are first
Right.
generation.
And it doesn't
And
mean-
you want to look at these kids and want to know they have every opportunity
Right.
to achieve that American dream, even becoming president.
and it doesn't
But at
mean
the same time, you look at that population explode in different parts of the country, like California, like Michigan, Texas, where Sharia law is becoming a thing because they control the city council, they control the school
And it
board.
doesn't mean that they're
So it's
not
like-
good people. We're not saying they're not good people. Like it just, but there's got to be some sort of line drawn to help protect us.
Right.
Because
At some point, their faith will call them to the priority because that's what it is. They already know. They're there to assimilate, they're to infiltrate, and then when they're called upon to do Sharia or Allah, whatever the hell it is, that's what comes first, and that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people are fantastic, excellent people. I mean, you know, Leo's first gen. So the question is, would first gen be allowed? And that's the way it is now.
And that's what I'm saying. I would like to say yes.
And yes,
I know a lot of people that I would love to
and
see.
I know Leo would
succeed
have
like
good intentions, and he wouldn't be somebody that I'd have to, you know, worry about something like that. But then there's plenty of people that you don't know.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, Leo.
No.
We'll let you stay, but you can't move to the White House.
Right.
I'm just kidding. But I think we talked about it when it was about VP and two, like a president and a VP. We were talking about it because there's potentially two from the same state, Trump and DeSantis, and how that's not allowed because I don't know why.
Oops.
But I don't think he can be foreign born either because as vice president, you have to be ready to swear on the Constitution as the president at a moment's
You can become
notice.
president.
Right, and you have to be eligible. So
And
I don't believe in that position or the Secretary of State.
You're right, because then what happens if something happens to both the president and the vice president?
Right.
There's always.
But now, what about the Speaker of the House? Does the Speaker, is it House rules that the
I still say they should have to be American born at the very least.
I gotta know now. Is it how? Because the Speaker of the House.
So I wouldn't be able to run.
No, yeah, you would, because you're American born. I mean, I don't even think local politics. If you moved here from another country, I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what's. You see what's going on with.
But you know what's gonna happen,
Minnesota
though?
and.
But Vince, you know what's gonna happen though. You know what we're gonna end up here in Florida too here soon.
What's up?
We're gonna end up with one of these politicians that wasn't even born here in the state of Florida running for governor.
Well, that's fine if they weren't born here, but by law, they have to been here 7 years.
Yeah, but still, like I wouldn't feel comfortable moving to a different state and then running for governor in that state in 7 years.
I don't know. Maybe I could see, you know, you fall in love with that state and you want to do good by it. Like, I don't think DeSantis was born in Florida. I have no clue, to be honest with you.
DeSantis wasn't born in Florida?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Let me try looking it up.
I don't know, but the House Speaker does not have to be born in the United States. However, if the Speaker became acting president through the presidential line of succession, they would need to meet the constitutional requirements for the presidency, including being a natural-born U.S. citizen, at least 35 years old, and a U.S. resident for 14 years. If eligible, the succession would pass to the next eligible official. So, if ineligible. So, wait a minute.
So they're not.
You have to be, okay, natural-born U.S. citizen.
What does that mean?
And a U.S. citizen for 14 years.
That doesn't make sense. So what is a natural born USA citizen? And then what it doesn't make sense where it says.
So Ron DeSantis was born in Florida.
Was he? Yeah, I figured.
Jacksonville.
Give you the constitutional meaning and the important distinction between being abroad and being natural born. A natural born U.S. citizen generally means someone who was an American citizen from the moment of birth without having to become naturalized later. So, like sworn in, I guess.
Yeah.
This normally includes someone born in the United States and subject to U.S. jurisdiction, even if one or both parents were not citizens. Someone born outside the United States who automatically acquired citizenship at birth through a U.S. citizen parent, provided the applicable citizenships laws were satisfied. If It generally does not include someone born without U.S. citizenship who later immigrated and completed the naturalization. So okay. The Constitution itself uses the phrase, but never precisely defines it. There has been some legal debate concerning people born abroad, but the prevailing interpretation is citizen at birth, not necessarily born physically inside America. Congress's constitutional annotated whatever confirms that the exact boundaries have generated debate. So in plain English, natural born means you did not have to apply to become an American citizen.
Hmm.
And what was the second question? Why? So
Something about the 14, you had
yeah.
to, and a USA resident for 14 years. So I guess if you were not a USA citizen born, you had to at least be 14 years of residence.
Yeah, but you have to be
A born.
natural born. So,
That does,
oh, okay. So if you were born abroad and moved back, you have to be back for 14 years?
yeah, I don't know. Orphan things.
Yes, but only to serve as president, not to serve as Speaker of the House. The president must be a natural born U.S. citizen, at least 35, have been a U.S. citizen. So, doesn't. I don't know how else to word that. AI is being stupid for me today, anyways. It's listening, though. Natural born citizen. Okay, so have you actually lived in or maintained your permanent home in the United States for at least 14 years? So I guess if you were living somewhere else as an immigrant, like let's say you lived in
So
the
if I moved to
UK.
Italy for a while,
Yeah,
I got to be back for 14 years.
right.
I wonder how long you got to be gone before that is considered you got to be back for 14 years.
I guess it all depends on where your permanent home is.
Yeah.
Whatever you have listed. 14-year residency. That's a little confusing. So I wonder if maybe that's the legal battle with Obama. There's tickling
Could be.
me here. It's 8:54. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, I wanted to show this because today was a big day. Where is it? Where is it? Today is a big day. There you go. That's right. In that top left corner, we've crossed $40 trillion in national debt. $40 trillion. You guys want to take a look at that big map there? That's 106, almost 117,000 per citizen, 360,000 plus debt per taxpayer.
How much per taxpayer?
300, call it 361.
I'm actually more in debt than that. So
Thousand,
just by
361,000.
myself.
Wow, with the house and
Yeah,
stuff like
with the
that.
house. But actually, I'm probably might be underneath that now. But I mean, 40 trillion. I mean, what? I don't know. Like the national debt has always just been something that it always gets bigger. It's always going to keep getting bigger. It's not something that I don't think many citizens really even concern themselves with anymore. I think, of course, a lot of your leftists are going to point out that we hit 40 trillion for the first time under Donald Trump.
So
Well,
where is it
yeah,
at, Mike?
and whoever the next president's going to hit a new
yeah.
milestone too.
So it's dropped.
Every president hits a new milestone.
What do you mean?
I said it hasn't dropped.
No, it's never dropped.
No, and if they would have quit messing around with the guy and his tariffs, here's the tariff revenue that we're at right now: 238 billion.
That might have been our first chance to see it drop.
Yeah, and we're paying payroll tax revenue is what? There's millions, billions. There's almost $2 trillion in payroll tax.
And that's going on right now?
Yeah, these are all live numbers right here.
Why are they moving? Is that like who are we?
Yeah,
that's what we're spending right now, Leo.
Imagine watching your bank account go do that down to zero, and it's like, stop. How do you stop it? Unplug it. Shut it off.
Just think there's
$40 trillion.
just think there's people like Elon Musk that watch their bank account go up like that. Not quite that quick, but you can sit there and watch their bank account flying up.
Yeah, that's not flying up. It's flying down. Look at
Well, it
how
is
much
flying
money-
up because it's debt.
Look at all that debt. Like, who are we giving all that debt to?
Nobody. That's what we're owed.
Well,
A lot of
most
that is to China.
yeah, I was just gonna say most of that goes to China, Leo.
So we need to cut China off.
Well, we need to pay them their
That's
money.
that's why we
No,
need to
We're never going to pay them.
be getting everything American made. But we touched on it a little bit on this podcast earlier this year about we need to have our own oil refineries is another big part of the problem with our national debt. Like we're too reluctant on China for all our goods. We're too reluctant on all the other countries to refine our oil.
Anything coming in?
Well, that tariff number's going up. Payroll coming in.
What's that green number that's running right up?
This one right here. Federal tax revenue.
So
that number's going up.
That's where they're making money. That's us
Yeah,
paying
this
tax.
this is all our money going back to the government. This restitution is from like criminal stuff going into the treasury. You can see the treasury reserve going up, but that's still only at what? There's millions, billion, 32 trillion. So right now we have less money in the treasury reserve than debt we owe. Right? Does that make any other sense to you? U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio. That's gross domestic product. So
Fort Knox is supposed to be able to cover that, correct?
Fucking
Theoretically.
hell if I know. Sorry.
Or is that what it's called?
Fort Knox?
No, what do you call it where all the gold's supposed to be?
I think you're right.
Is it Fort Knox?
I think Fort Knox is a prison, isn't it?
No, I think that's the Federal Reserve.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Or
So I might have
the
that.
gold was supposed to be.
Yeah, where all the gold's supposedly supposed to be.
Audit.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be able to cover the national debt, but I don't think there's too many people that buy into.
What if somehow we would pay that national debt?
Well,
Can you
they-
imagine if they would go away?
But they wouldn't, because then how can they keep charging you all that green over there where they're taking your money to
Stay in
taxes?
debt. Yep. They stay
So
in debt.
if we ever got that down, a significant number, then the taxpayers are going to say, well, we should be paying less taxes. So it's all part of the system. You're never going to see the national debt go away. Because without that,
And it started
they
out with
can't tax
$1.
us. Huh?
It started with $1.
Well, yeah. At some point, it was at $1. Not for
Who?
very long, that's for sure.
Who was that first person that we owed that dollar to?
Probably
What
ourselves.
State is this? You see state debt right here?
Yeah.
I want to see what Florida. How does it know? What state is it talking about?
Mhm.
Doesn't click on nothing. But yeah, it's depressing.
It's when you hover over it, it shows something up top.
Yeah,
What's it show?
there are two types of state bonds: general obligation bonds and revenue bonds. Geo bonds are backed by general
And
taxation.
What is that? $1 trillion? Is that all the states combined, or?
I don't. Debt per citizen though is $3,200. Local debt is like $2 trillion. Debt per citizen over 6,500. Yeah, all this is depressing. I mean, everything is expensive in the grocery store. And my check hasn't gone up. But it sure as hell been harder to go to work. Huh. But anyways, we're rounding up 9 o'clock. Make sure you check out the website, ircmedia.net. We do all kinds of other stuff there, and there'll be an election center, hopefully fully automated by November. I don't know. We're getting a little lagged up on code, but we'll get there sooner or later and have something we can go by, at least local stuff. So it was a great tool for last night where we saw our picks for some local elections get in there. On the national stage or state level, not so much. But again, my pick for governor and like Department of Ag wasn't mainstream. So same with the congressman. Weren't really mainstream picks. But anyways, we move on. We unite and try to defeat the progressive leftists that would see the destruction of all things we know to be better, right?
Yeah.
You don't want no girls in the boys and girls locker rooms and graphic material in your kids' school libraries. So thankfully for local wins, we're going to avert that for
Speaking of
another
that,
4 years.
speaking of the guys and girls locker rooms, there's been several former NBA players that have declared for the
Yeah.
WNBA's draft next upcoming. I mean, I think some of them, Mike, are actually doing it just to cause the problem to be brought to light.
And that's what they did.
And they're trying to get it fixed.
Yeah.
I actually think a couple of those NBA players are actually trying to do some good.
They should let them on.
I don't want to see it.
Why not?
I don't watch
If it wasn't for Sophie Cunningham, who's amazing, by the way, and that Caitlin Clark,
yeah.
nobody'd be talking about that WNBA, because unless them two girls weren't if they weren't getting punched in the face, who cares? Nobody even cares anyways, unless they're playing, because it's a good game. Them girls play their hearts out, and the other players go after them for it. So, but honestly, nobody cares about the WNBA. But if they can't define a woman, and that's the issue, you
Right.
see these other men who are like, all right, well, I want a paycheck. I'm going to throw my name in the draft because you can't deny me. So we'll see how that plays. They'll figure it out real soon. They
Yeah.
don't want to have to pay that kind of money. Well, I don't know. It's probably whatever is offered. Anyways, it's 9:00. You guys got anything else before we get out of here?
No.
I don't have an outro or nothing because, like I said, Evie Mux experienced some crap
virus or
over the
something?
weekend, and I don't know what it is, but it nothing's working right. None of our media's there. Thank God I had some files. I don't delete nothing off the computer, but I need to. But anyways, we'll see you next week. Get out of here.
Peace out.
Warriors, say the flame to shout, make America